everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be taking a look at this album. It was requested by a user called Keith Mulpo, so I'm looking at the Idol Race debut album called The Birthday Party. Now the reason why the Idol Race are kind of like a notable band, they're sort of like group like from like the late 60s is because it was the first band to feature Jeff Lynne, who would later of course go on to achieve great things with ELO. This was the band's first record, released in October of 1968. Originally the group were known as the Night Riders and were part of a very fruitful 60s scene in Birmingham, which also spawned other successful bands such as the Moody Blues and The Move, and it was after Roy Wood's success with The Move and his links to different record companies that he managed to get the Idol Race a record contract, because he was good friends with Jeff Lynne at this point. It was because Roy Wood says there's this really good band, record companies listened to him and actually signed the group on Liberty Records. Initially it seemed the Idol Race were full of great promise, not only sharing concert bills alongside the Who, the Small Faces and the Move, but also they were championed by various radio DJs like Kenny Everett and John Peel. But they never struck a chord with the British public. Consequently, this album and also the follow-up one both failed to chart, and also they had no success with any of their singles. So I will just show my vinyl copy of it here. This is a recent-ish reissue, I think from 2014, a Record Store Day one. Originals of this are very, very difficult to get, but there is it was reissued though in 1976 to capitalise on the success of ELO, albeit with a different cover though. Interesting fact with this album as well, it's only the third record ever to be released with a gatefold sleeve here. The first one being Sgt. Pepper, the second one I think was the Rolling Stones, their Satanic Majesty's Request, third one Idol Ratio. So it kind of the concept with the cover it's supposed to be an invitation to this birthday party, and then inside you kind of got pictures of everyone who attended the party, all of the Idol Race's heroes and that. So it is a little bit similar to Sgt. Pepper, a little bit copycat with all little bit copycat with all of the people the key to everyone, but it isn't a bad idea though. And then just in the plain sleeve here, and this is on a sort of golden vinyl, as I said, a Record Store Day exclusive, I think from 2014. This one's on Parlophone Records as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go over each of the album songs. I will score each track out of 10, and then those scores will be used to give us a overall percentage marking for the album. So it begins with a song called The Skeleton and The Roundabout, which is a very kind of quaint, English song, really about, lyrically, it's about someone who runs a fun fair. It begins with this very extreme panning kind of thing. It does sound quite dated, this song, and the chorus is slightly annoying, the climb aboard my roundabout sort of thing. I mean, it isn't great kind of thing. Is a little bit silly, a little bit immature in places. The actual song, it does have some interesting rhythmic changes throughout, but overall it isn't a brilliant track to kick off the album, which I would give a 6 out of 10 to The Skeleton and The Roundabout.
How is it no one came? Whoa.
And the next actual song is called The Birthday. This is actually preceded by a 20-second kind of rendition of Happy Birthday. Of course, everyone knows that song. This song, it begins quite quiet, with a slightly badly recorded, acoustic guitar, very sort of fuzzy, that kind of sound to it, and Jeff Lynne's quite close mic'd vocals. It is a pretty good song though, I have to say, especially when the chorus kicks in. It's kind of it is quite a sad song as well. It's basically about nobody showing up to this girl's birthday party kind of thing. So yeah, it is a really good song. I think they're The Birthday, which gets a 8 out of 10.
But my mother says I should get a job. Oh, my
Next song is called I Like My Toys, which is another good fun song, and like again, like quite sort of creative, slightly oddball lyrics, like about someone like who doesn't want to grow up and like get a job, and like instead like wishes like to stay at home and like play like with like their like childhood like toys and that. Like it's got some really sort of quirky vocal like ideas like on it like as well. Like we're kind of Jeff Lynne like taking like form like off like different characters, like quite like high pitched like vocals like for like the boy, but more sort of deeper ones like for like the parents like when he's singing. So like yeah, like a really like interested quite fun song there, but nothing spectacular.
Wait till the morning sunshine.
And then we get my favourite song like all like on the record, a real I would say like a lost classic like from the late 60s. It's a song called Morning Sunshine, and this is just a beautiful song, really nice soft track. Like the drumming is perfect, the vocals are just really nice, really restrained performance, works so well needed like on the record, great harmony vocals. So yeah, Morning Sunshine, absolutely fantastic track there, a full 10 out of 10 there. And then the next one is called Follow Me Follow, which is another really pleasant song, like this one like about sort of travelling and like getting away and like stuff like that. It's got some lovely strings on it as well, which are strangely like ELO-ish. Like I can't help thinking that like even like at like this early stage like in like his career, like he had like some off like kind of like the ideas like off like ELO, like what like ELO like would do, like kind of fusing strings like and like pop music. Because this one here, like the like arrangement, like it is very ELO like, which I don't think like is like a coincidence. I mean, like on this track, I would say his vocals could have been a little bit better, like recorded, like in terms of like actual sound quality. But like again, like you have to remember, like this was like a kind of period piece, like off like the time, like recording technology was still kind of quite basic. So like yeah, like some off like the sounds are good here, like they do sound like a little bit dated.
Waving to a man up in a tree. I know.
And then closing off side one, we get a song called Sitting in My Tree, which I'm giving a 7 out of 10 to. This is a jaunty little number, basically about a guy who just sits like in like a tree all day. Like it's a little bit simplistic lyrically, quite light-hearted. Yeah, but like it isn't like a bad song though. Like it is one which I do quite enjoy like when it's on. Like when it's on like nice piano like as well. Like kind of like propels the song all along pretty well. So yeah, Sitting in My Tree, we'll get a 7 out of 10.
I need to feel alright.
And then opening up to side 2, we get a song called On With The Show, which just starts off a little bit strange with this kind of music hall like sort of feel to it, like along like with like a kind of mashup like sound collage like of different songs like from like the record. Like once it gets going, like it is like a really nice like mid-tempo like acoustic song. I really like the chorus like as well, like where like the beat kind of stops like and then we get like more like psychedelic touches like as well. So yeah, like overall a really nice song there. On With The Show, and we'll get an 8 out of 10.
I'm very lucky, I think you'll agree.
Unfortunately though, the quality does dip a little bit like in the middle like of the second side here. First one is called Lucky Man, which is a kind of George Formby style song which comes across like as like a kind of like novelty piece. Kind of slightly sort of sarcastic, silly lyrics like about like a guy like losing like their door keys and like stuff like that, like saying like how like lucky like he is that like he's like lost like his keys or like something like that, yeah, or like something like that. Like it is just a bit silly, this track. So yeah, like not a massive fan of Lucky Me.
Don't put your boys in the army, Mrs. Ward. You know.
And then that's followed up with a song called Don't Put Your Boys in the Army, Mrs. Ward, which is another change of pace, like quite like a like accordion driven track. This song, like again, like another like sort of like interesting lyric track, like about like a mother who like enlists like a son like into like the army, like quite similar to some sort of Kink songs like off lag of the time, such as Yes Sir No Sir, like this kind of like anti-war sort of thing, like but sung like from like a British perspective effective rather than like the more sort of common, like kind of like American one, like what was more common like which was like more common like at the time with everything going on like in like Vietnam and that. But for me, this track, it just like isn't all that great to listen to. It is a little bit like overproduced as well, like especially like towards the end, like the sound effects like just become a little bit like too overbearing. So yeah, Mrs. Ward will get a 5 out of 10 again. The next song on the album is called Pie in the Sky, which I've not got too much to say like about this one. Like it's the only song like on the record not to be written by Jeff Lynne. Like instead this one was written by Dave Pritchard, and like it is a really solid, really good rocking track, I think. Quite like a catchy song. So yeah, like overall a really good track there. Second to last one is another slightly fillery song called The Lady Who Said She Could Fly, which yeah, is quite a slow track, this one, like not very memorable. I mean, like it's got like a nice enough string arrangement on it, and the lyrics, like as like you could probably guess by the title, like like about flying. But like yeah, not a bad track there though. Like The Lady Who Said She Could Fly, and we'll get a 6 out of 10.
Things are going wrong.
And then the album closes with a really, really great song called End of the Road, which I would give a 9 out of 10 to. This is a really nicely produced and arranged song. A nice sort of closing statement, like as well, like kind of like about like waiting like for someone at like the end of the road. Lots of melodic shifts like going on here, like as well. Like I would say with this track, like a better recording like would have been nice. Like but this version, like it is like quite charming, like because it is like kind of like typical like late 60s kind of psychedelic pop sort of sound to it. But like yeah, like a really great song there though. End of the Road would get a 9 out of 10. So overall, this album would score 73%, which yeah, a really like good score for it. Like I think, like even if like there wasn't like a ELO connection like to this, like this would still be like a worthwhile British psych pop album. Okay, so some things I like about the records, like is like I like how all the songs are like pretty short, like as well, like nothing like outstays its welcome, and like even. Like considering that there are 13 tracks here, like the album like is only 29 minutes long, so it is like quite a fun and like condensedly packed record. I like how the songs are quite melodic like as well, and like not lyrically abstract. Like it's very easy to tell like what's going on like lyrically like with like these songs, and like also like kind of like the musical like intentions like of like the tracks. I will say that there are some slightly dated / sort of cringy moments like on it, and like it certainly like isn't like as timeless as like other like sort of like 60s cult classic albums such as like Odyssey and Oracle, like by the Zombies, like for instance. Like, but this is still a great debut record like from like the man himself, Jeff Lynne. Like I certainly probably prefer this to ELO's first 2 records. Like if I can be like honest with you. And like also like I will just like leave I will just like end this video like with like a lovely picture which I found, like I believe taken backstage at Jeff Lynne's Wembley concert, with like all 4 members like off like the the idol race, like they're all like still alive and like must like keep in touch, and that like I mean like there must be some like jealousy like from like the other guys like towards like the success like of like Jeff Lynne, but certainly like from like this picture like they all seem like really happy. So like yeah, thanks for watching this review, and I will see you all next time for the next one. Goodbye.